In this modern era, we know a lot more about hygiene than they did in the Victorian era. We have reliable plumbing and soaps and shampoos for everything. But how was hygiene in the Victorian era? Did they really wash their hair with pee? Let's find out how gross the Victorians actually were. Welcome to History Uncovered. Subscribe to support our channel. The Victorian era is romanticized in almost every book, movie, and television program. The era of lovely dresses, lavish homes, and passionate love is long gone. But nobody talks about where they get their water from, where they go to the bathroom, or how long it has been since they last took a bath. You'll find that the Victorians were actually quite repulsive when you strip away all the layers of silk and lace. Daily bathing wasn't always the norm, let alone weekly, and most people didn't even have access to indoor plumbing. Thus, the frequent outbreaks of illness during the Victorian era are not unexpected. Overall, bizarre hygiene trends were most prevalent among women. So let's look around, hold our noses, and find out what the supposedly spotless Victorians were really up to. In the Victorian era, women's hairstyles were frequently elaborate, and it is unlikely that they began the entire washing, drying, and styling process before it was actually time for a good wash. Women's hair was regarded as their crowning beauty at the time, so the longer and healthier it was, the better. It remained in pins the rest of the time and would only be let down when she was with her husband by herself. Women did not wash their hair as frequently as we do today to maintain its health, only doing so on a weekly or monthly basis. After being introduced in the middle of the 1860s, Hall's vegetable Sicilian hair renewer quickly became a standard in Victorian hair care. Its alleged darkening properties, which helped people maintain a youthful appearance, were its main advantage. Unfortunately, to help darken the hair, Hall's hair renewer used lead as a bonding agent for other chemicals. The hair renewer did make the hair darker, but it was also very harmful. Hall's managed to keep their hair renewer on the market into the 1930s even after reducing the amount of lead in it. Women in that era frequently wore skirts and hoops or bustles. How did they utilize the restroom then? In comparison to modern undergarments, their pantaloons or knickers were more like pants. These loose-fitting underwear had split crotches, allowing ladies to hover over the bowl without completely undressing, which would have taken too long. While some wealthy families had indoor plumbing by the 1880s, many did not, which meant trips to the outhouse when nature called. The toilet paper roll wasn't created until 1891, although the first toilet paper squares were sold in the 1870s, with chemicals added to keep the bathroom from smelling too awful. What then did people use before that period to clean themselves? Old newspapers or corncobs appear to be what many people used, given, of course, that they had access to these materials at all. The answer might hurt a little. Because showers had not yet been developed, everyone bathed to stay clean. When it was time for a thorough cleaning, poorer households would boil water on the stove and then pour it, along with cool water, to a wooden or metal tub, typically in the kitchen. However, the majority of people used a basin and a pitcher of chilly water to bathe in much lesser amounts in their bedrooms. The crucial areas were the hands, face, armpits, and groin, and they didn't need to be completely submerged to be kept at least somewhat clean. In addition to having excellent porcelain bathtubs with nearby hot and cold water faucets, nicer homes sometimes even possessed the luxury of all luxury, a piped foot bath. These luxuries acted as miniature bathtubs for your smelly feet. But in the year of 1858, even the luxury baths were not enough. During hot summer months, even contemporary cities may have a distinct odor, but London's smell in 1858 caused the city to be evacuated. Previously, the core of London's sewage system was the now beautiful River Thames, where residents could simply dump their trash. Londoners grumbled about the smells emanating from the river, and medical professionals blamed the stench for the city's epidemic of diseases. The 1858 summer was subsequently dubbed the Great Stink. Legislators didn't act until breezes from the River Thames blew in the direction of Parliament. A bill allowing for a new sewage infrastructure in London was passed in just 18 days, which is still used nowadays. But how did the Victorians mask their smell? Prior to the widespread use of lotions and deodorants, people had only a limited number of options for masking the smell of BO or soiled clothing. Women with plenty of money could purchase cologne or perfume, but scented powder was more affordable. This worked well at absorbing moisture as well. Bay rum was the most popular scent for men, a distinctive aroma that most people in modern times have never experienced, though they do still make it. In the 1500s, sailors developed the spice and perfume-infused rum specifically to cover up body odor. The only other way to prevent a stale smell for those who couldn't afford these extras was to maintain cleanliness. While women never washed their outerwear, they did use dress shields to protect their clothing from sweat dripping from their underarms. Dresses and coats were brushed clean, only undergarments were immersed in water. Victorians frequently used additional cleaning agents in addition to soap to clean their clothing. Chalk was frequently used to remove grease and oil stains from clothing, and kerosene could get rid of both grass stains and blood stains. Urine odors and stains were commonly removed with milk as a cleaner. Similar to this, since urine contains ammonia, Victorians used it to bleach their clothing. So how did they clean their teeth? Victorians of the middle and upper classes could easily buy toothbrushes and toothpaste, but the majority of the working class had to make their own remedies. Soot, chalk, or powdered cuttlefish are some ingredients that can be used to create improvised toothpaste at home. Typically, toothbrushes had wooden handles and hard bristles. Celery was considered to be sufficiently abrasive to clean one's teeth while eating for those who could not afford a toothbrush. Their dentistry was considerably terrible than their poor oral hygiene. If there was no dentist in the region, local barbers or blacksmiths would frequently give dental care, without sedation. Today, odors are at most regarded unpleasant, but Victorians believed odors were harmful. The night air or miasma idea proposed that a number of diseases, including chlamydia and cholera, could be transmitted by filthy air. Victorians even went so far as to attribute the bad air quality in London's low neighbourhoods to the odors coming from the streets. Even the well-known nurse Florence Nightingale believed in miasma and considered that healthy patients necessitated clean air. In fact, the unsanitary conditions in industrial locations led to disease, which brought forth unpleasant odors. Thanks to contemporary cleanliness and treatment, the medical community now regards miasma as a fake science. Women's clothing was held responsible for the spread of tuberculosis during the Victorian era. According to doctors, women unknowingly brought the disease into their homes by dragging long skirts across the pavement. Due to the tight corset's restriction of the lungs, tuberculosis was also believed to be caused by the corsets that women were required to wear. To help slow the disease's spread, higher skirts and looser corsets were used. Would you live in the Victorian era? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching our video. If you like history videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel to support us.